Hi, this is an overview of our Debt Acceleration Services. Debt Acceleration Services is a web-based software, so in the cloud, where you can control, manage, and accelerate your debt payments with ease and by optimizing your monthly budget. When you enter the first time, in this case we're already there, but when you enter the first time, the program will tell you what is due in the next 3 days, having you a total, and with that total, well, you know that you need to have the money available, which in this case is only 25 bucks. Then, if you are a wholesaler, you can promote your company here. So big companies that have a lot of members, etc., can take benefit of having their information here. This is totally fake. Okay. So then here we have some summaries of the debt distribution by type, and the amounts here also by percentage and amounts, and this one by pi. The important part happens here in the debt area. So first of all, this is our slogan, which is important because actually reflects what the program does to make you pay on time, pay less, and pay faster your debts. When we enter, what we see, and this is not a training, we have other videos for that, this is just an overview. We have everything, meaning all your debts, right? The highlights of this is that you're going to be able to classify. You don't need to enter or give away in any way, shape, or form your passwords or login information for your banks. None of that. This is totally unrelated to other services that you see in the web, that they ask you for every password and every login that you have, and making really very difficult for you to be at ease with that. This one is all about you. You don't even need to enter your real credit cards or accounts. You only need to indicate what they are, and it will be enough for you to control, since you're gonna do your payments anywhere you want. Like, for example, you can do it from your bank, or you can do it directly from the creditor. But you can have unlimited debts, right? And we see here, for example, this one. So let's pretend that we paid this one. So we went to Sears, or we went to our bank and scheduled the payment for this. Well, so we're gonna essentially move it to the next. We're gonna change the status to paid, right? Status to paid, and click submit changes. Okay. By the way, it will be possible, perfectly possible. So now it's gonna look like it disappeared. In reality, it didn't disappear, but it went here. You see, to the bottom, because it's sorted by date. So it went to the bottom here to be paid on May the 13th. So it's possible to actually pay several debts and then click submit changes. So you don't need to do one by one. You can do searches, as you can see here. You're going to put here your monthly budget. The monthly budget is the maximum that you can really count to or have available to pay for your debts. The more that you enter here, being realistic, the more that the program have to distribute. For example, the program is going to pay first, it's going to pay the high interest rate debts. So for example, here, even though this is an accounts that are really high, so in this particular example, you would need, it would be better, much better actually, that you had a monthly budget of 7,500, hopefully, or even 8,000. But we can observe that at 29%, this debt here of Capital One, right? The program is paying 900 as opposed to the minimum, right? So in other words, it's putting all the excess money into this account. Here we have another one at 24, and even though we only owed 111, the minimum is 25, so the program is paying only, or is suggesting to pay $25, but in this one is paying $958. And so because this one is the one that is doing the most damage in terms of high interest, is using all the money possible to pay for this, and then pay the rest at a minimum, except for certain type of transaction that I'm gonna explain in a second. Also, we have here, and we can see ways to do an ignore. So in other words, it will ignore, even if you have here a different minimum, you can have something here that you want to pay and it will ignore it, or it will ignore it once, meaning that it will be just one time. Next time will be will go back to the suggestion of the debt acceleration services. You can force also to pay something in full. Usually, insurances and things like that are paid in full. Then we have a provision, a special provision to pay, for example, debts that are at zero interest. For example, this PayPal, PayPal credit, they let you pay in 6 months at zero interest if you charge something that is 99 or month or more. Here we have 7, which is not realistic. It's going to be 6, and we can change it to be honest. That is perfectly possible. To put this at 6, let's recalculate, and to do that, well, we submit the changes, and it's going to recalculate the numbers in its entirety. So here we have now the 66. So you see that this debt of 1281 is going to be paying 213. And the important thing here, that these 3 debts are at zero interest. This one is only 1 payment left. Maybe we would like to change this just to have a better idea what I'm talking about. I'm going to put 4, and I'm going to submit the changes. Again, I can make many changes and submit just once, but I'm doing this just to show. In this case, as you can see, this $1,000 for payments is going to be $250. So the total to pay for PayPal would be, in this case, because it's at 23%, is paying 75. In this one is paying a fourth of these. In this one is paying 203, etc., etc. So this is the total. This is very important, because to calculate this manually is very, very difficult, if close to impossible in real life, because of how much time it will take you to calculate how much to pay as a total for every. There are many things that can be paid without interest, like for example new credit cards is one of them. They are, even Goodyear gives you two years to pay the tires at zero interest when you pay with a Sears MasterCard, etc. So many things that can be paid with at zero interest. Well, essentially the program will send you 7 days before the due date, will send you emails, so you will know exactly what to pay to which debt, and then you will come here, and pretty much, if you accept the suggestion, which will be the best option for you to optimize your payments, and we'll show you how much you have to pay. Here in this Discover card, we have a remnant of 8 payments that we have here, right? That we are going to pay $291. but in the other one we're paying 252. So here we're paying pretty much everything on that one. Notice that when we did the last submission, that we changed this 1,000 to that we have only one payment to 4. We had some money left into the pool of the budget, as a matter of fact, in such a way that the 7,000 we are only using 67.96. So this would be pretty much, this is an ideal scenario at this point. That was not when we had the number 1 here in the PayPal one payment that we were paying 1,000 here, and that's why the program can, and in fact it does, pay this account in full, and this one of 29 is also paid in full, and this one is paid in full as well as this one of 24. So again, this is a great situation where we have our monthly budget is actually enough to pay everything in a very aggressive manner. Here at the bottom we can see how much we accelerated versus paying the minimum, and what would be the minimum payment, which is 2132. That would be exactly the minimum, and this is all the acceleration that we are doing. Even we have a surplus which we can use potentially to for saving or investing. Also, you can use the program to save money for vacations and stuff like that. That would be equivalent to do several months, and then you can save. In this case, again, we have only one payment here, one payment left, so it's like we only have 1 month. This is not realistic either, but we'll be paying pretty much all, but it doesn't matter. This is just a test. So you can use it for many things. The program automatically is going to suggest to pay in full depending on the type of debt. So to enter a debt, so for example, let's say we're gonna click here and add a new debt, and so we have it here, and we're gonna put here whatever, AAA insurance, and we're gonna put here our auto insurance. And again, we don't need to put, maybe we're gonna put the 4 digits of the account, the last 4 digits of the account, so we don't need to put everything. The type in this case, well, could be anything. We're gonna use insurance, right? And you see automatically it put here pay in full. So usually this is 0 interest, but it doesn't matter really because it's an insurance, so the amount owed is what you're paying for your insurance, whatever. Let's say that you're paying $200, and then as you can see, the program would put the minimum 200, and I will pay 200 because it's a kind of a pay in full kind of debt, and automatically is going to assign the full amount. Okay, so we will save that, and we will have a different calculation here. So it's really easy to use. You only need to essentially you see now we have 69, so almost 7,000. Still we have a surplus of a few bucks here at the bottom, but not a big deal. And also you can archive the data, so it will go into the archive places where you can delete the debt, or maybe you can put it back, you know, by in the future. So debts that you pay in full, like for example your car, so you can have it archived, and then you can put it back in the future if you happens to buy another car from the same company, maybe, or something like that. Then you have here the notes. In the notes, automatically whatever you pay is going to be here, and also you can add your own notes. So it's kind of a log notes, and also you can duplicate, which is very useful for debts like PayPal and similar others that you can simply copy the whole debt, and you are going to change the data inside, but you're going to have the names and the type, etc. So pretty much that's that. You can have your training, your tools, and certain features here where you can know, for example, on this one, assume that it was due today. That's why it's red. But it can, obviously, you can double click on it, have a calendar, and say that it was here. For example, now it's yellow. Doesn't make any change in the amounts, of course. Here you can ask how, for example, give me how much you wanna in the next 3 days, and it's gonna, well, in this case, even though it says 200, which is correct, but I didn't, my fault, didn't save this, so I refreshed without saving. But now it's gonna be the 16th, and it's gonna be the 200. Well, here it says the default is 2 days. If I put 3 days, it's gonna tell me the $200. Plus, you're gonna receive it in your email. You're gonna receive the thing. So this is just a simple overview. I hope you like it. Check our website, and hope you like it and use it for many years to save thousands of dollars potentially, and accelerate your debts with this. Thank you.